it's sending the data. All right. Now it says we're live. Let's see. All right, guys. If you usually watch on YouTube, I think we are now good. I don't know why, but it wasn't I don't know why it wasn't going before, but now I think we're good.
Nice. I can tell people a little bit of what we're doing while you sort that out. So if you have been living under a rock over the past 3, 4 weeks, what we have done on INLEO to get a different kind of audience and a different kind of collaborations is that we have brought in some founders from meme communities. These communities are mainly on Solana and Ethereum. Why? Because that's where the action is, where the volume is. Of course, there are meme coins on many other blockchains, but we're focusing on Solana and Ethereum, and it's very simple. We are pushing for some collaborations with these meme communities so that they bring their community members to INLEO, and then allow their communities to earn some tokens from their engagement, which is actually something that meme communities are experts at. And at the same time, we introduce them to what our social media options are and how we solve, how we provide an alternative for Medium, X, and Reddit and YouTube in the same platform. And it's all on chain, and people can actually earn a few tokens, crypto tokens, from their content, something that people can't actually do on any other social media unless you have a gazillion followers, which is something that only the 0.01% of the user base has. So instead of making this a 0.1% game where only a few earn, INLEO offers the option for any kind of content creator to bring in any kind of interaction, content, insights, whatever, and be able to monetize it. Of course, not everyone will be able to monetize at the same level. It all depends on the gamification of how you develop your brand, how you grow your audience, how you actually manage to create good relationships with the user base, which are the ones that will allocate token rewards to your content. So that's very much it. In case you're not familiar with INLEO, just go to inleo.io and poke around. You can actually create an account with X or with Google in case you don't want to create an on-chain account. Go through the process of creating an on-chain account through the normal methods. But yeah, that's basically the overview of what we're doing over the past few weeks with meme coins.
Yeah, I really like these meme communities. I think they've got a lot of really positive energy, a lot of, fight in them in terms of, focusing on community and growing community. One thing, and Eric and I were chatting about this yesterday, after the Chain Chatter episode, where we had another meme community on. One thing I really like about this culture behind these meme coins is that they are extremely focused on growing their community and growing the platform that they have. Everybody involved in the meme coin community that, just take yesterday's community as an example, with Niru, and everybody involved in that community is really focused on growing the community. They just want to get more users. They want more eyes on their token. They want more people to know the backstory behind it. You even saw, like, in our chain chatter space, 90% of the audience wasn't even you guys. It was them. They dominated the audience. And their market cap is only like $80,000. So they're, 1/10 the market cap of Leo. But that being said, their community is out in full force all the time, promoting the brand, promoting the ecosystem, trying to get more people onboarded to the story, and just be involved with the brand. And one thing that I was telling Eric that I really like about that is that they're not doing this because there's some reward for doing so. So like, they don't earn, for example, they don't earn like 10 Nero tokens for showing up to the space. Or they don't earn, 5 Nero tokens for like sharing an X link with their friends and family. Um, they simply do those actions because they want the community to grow. They want their community to grow. And they also have, from a community incentive standpoint, they want their community to grow. But then from a financial perspective or incentive, it's not because they're trying to earn something. It's because they hold the Nero token already. So they know that if they onboard people and get more people interested in the token and the story, um, ultimately in the long run, they're making their stack more valuable. And that is, I see Taskmaster in the audience. That's something that Task talks about very frequently, which is the ownership mindset. So I actually think a lot of these meme communities get like a bad rap, and I will be the first to admit that even I kind of looked at them and like, I saw their stories and they're based on dogs, and you're like, okay, well this is just like crazy. Like we're kind of in a sector of the industry that takes things a lot more seriously, and we kind of look at their communities and we're like, well, they don't take things that seriously, so why give them much attention or really care about them at all. But as I've talked to more of these meme communities and we've had them on Chain Chatter, and I've gotten to understand their community prospect, and value proposition a lot better, I've come to realize that they actually have something really special, which is just that they're an actual community of people who come together who all have this kind of deeply entrenched ownership mindset. So I was just telling Eric yesterday, I want to figure out how we can get more of that on INLEO because in my opinion, we've evolved out of the hive culture, and that culture has always been very much like, if I do this, I expect to get a reward. Um, and it's not anyone's fault in particular. It's just the fact that the way the platform's built is that you post a blog post and you get rewarded for it. You get, liquid tokens or stake tokens for doing so. And I think it's really easy to fall into the trap of everybody just expecting that when you do something, you need to earn something immediately in return. And I'm not against, earning. I'm not against rewards and referral system rewards and, paying out liquid tokens and things like that. I think that they can be kind of extra incentives. You'll also see these meme communities do a very similar thing where they will actually pay out, liquid rewards here and there, for doing certain things or completing a bounty or, et cetera. But on a day-to-day basis, on a regular basis, they're showing up, as a community. They're doing the right things. They're being active in X spaces, like whether they come on ours or a different one. They're retweeting, reposting, whatever you want to call it, liking and sharing the content from the main X account and the brand behind the token. They're educating other users on X about the token. So when people ask a question, you see their community members jump in and they're replying and trying to educate from a friendly standpoint. So they're doing all these positive actions in order to grow the token and the ecosystem that they're a part of. But they're not doing it because they're expecting some reward immediately in return. They're doing it because they have the ownership mindset that Task has talked about a lot, which is, hey, I own this token. If I don't do this thing, because if I don't do this thing and the other members of my community don't do this thing, then the token's never going to grow. And there's no point in me even owning that token anymore, unless we all do these things. So it's kind of like doing your part for your community in order to grow your own bag. And that's obviously how they will frame it as well, as like, I have a bag in XYZ meme token. And so my incentive is, let me grow that bag by being highly active on X and in other places and grow the platform. And in so doing, grow your bag and make it more valuable. So that ownership mindset applies in so many different ways. And I think a big one is just being really active on X, being really active on other platforms, and understanding that you don't need to earn something immediately in order to have value accrue to you for that. So you may not earn any tokens immediately for educating some random X influencer about INLEO, but down the line, if a bunch of people are doing that, if there's thousands of our community members out there doing that, That's potentially thousands of new creators that join INLEO over time through your actions, which ultimately leads to Leo being more valuable as a token, as an ecosystem, as a platform. Um, so that's my rant on, it's something I've observed with these meme communities and something that in talking to them now on kind of a weekly basis, and now we're also working with them to onboard them to INLEO in the background. It's something I've really learned that we need to look at as a Leo community and try to understand how we can do more of that because we've got 1,800 monthly active users, and growing pretty quickly with each month really being a new all-time high for monthly active users. Yet I'm seeing these other communities out there with 1/10 the market cap and 1/10 the users who have 10 times as much activity as us um, on X and other platforms. So, it's something that I think we really need to sit down, think about, and really this is what the growth calls are for as well as fleshing out these ideas. How can we start getting more Leo people just involved because they own Leo and saying, I don't need to be paid constantly. I don't need to get a month of free premium. I don't need to get, 100 free Leo. I can just do these things because I already have Leo. And then, occasionally there might be a bigger event, and then that event might pay out some Leo. But on a day-to-day basis, can you just do these things and be active as a community? Because that's what ultimately is going to grow the community.
Yeah, and we tried. Well, not that we tried. We actually started doing something very similar a couple of like a year and a half ago, and we even mentioned "work for your bags," which is a very very well known phrase in the meme community. And when we were a lot of people getting active on X for the first time, we were even getting blue check marks. Right now, I think there's like 30 lions with a blue check mark on X. And this is not because, oh yeah, we want to give Elon Musk some money, but it's more about we have to spend this kind of money to get the visibility that we want to give to Leo. And I'm glad that, like I've been telling you and Kat for around 6 months, that memes are getting so much mind share because they are like I mentioned a couple of days in the AMA, the market cap of the meme coins is an ant compared to the overall market cap of crypto. Yet when you go on X, all you information shills, spaces about memes. I have seen spaces with 500 people where people just go in and talk about memes, and utility spaces, big ones, they struggle. Like, for example, third chain, sometimes they have like 50, 60 people. Memes have a huge mindshare and have a huge presence on X. So leveraging their existence and their to hand in hand grow, help them grow, and at the same time grow in Leo with them. It's just a no-brainer. So I'm really glad that we took this approach of yes, we can have utility founders on Chain Chatter, but if right now the noise and the attention is on memes, well, adapting to what the market wants and what the market is speaking about is only good. So we get to keep our utility approach while making these good relationships with the meme section of the space.
Yeah, I don't think we should be estranging any communities just for the sake of, maybe you don't agree with some of the things that they talk about. It's, and at the end of the day, there's nothing really happening in meme communities to disagree with. I mean, I know that a lot of them are very focused on token price and things like that. And obviously they don't necessarily have a product, but it's like I said, they're selling community, they're building community. That's their whole proposition. Um, so I will admit that at first I thought, we couldn't have a lot of alignment with meme communities because they don't have similar value proposition and foundations as we do, which is to build a really great product and then build a token around that product. They're instead focused on building a community and then obviously having a token to tie themselves together, which is a very different thing. But that being said, I think there's a lot of crossover, and there are a lot of things that we can do to collaborate with these communities. So, with Super S, Eric, I'm getting an echo from you.
Yeah.
Um, so, with Super S and some of these other communities, I think it's just really valuable for us to be, involved with them and figuring out how we can collaborate and do great things together because, like I said, they're very focused on growing their community. Their community is very active and involved in doing so. And obviously for us, we need more users in general. We actually kind of need communities on top of our community. Like, we need sub communities on INLEO in order to reach our goals in terms of users. So I think that that's, going after these communities is a really important way for us to grow from a platform and monthly active user perspective. So you're going to see a lot of focus, I think, from now to the end of the year. Obviously we're working on the Dash integrations as well. But you're going to see a lot of focus with really, I think each week, and Eric and I have been talking about this, each week we're just going to have a different meme community on that's anywhere from like 100,000 to, $2 million market cap. We're going to have them on Chain Chatter. And then from there, obviously we build a relationship with them. Really, every single community we've had, whether it's meme or not, every community that we've had on Chain Chatter, they say that they're extremely impressed by our community and our platform because we show them the Threadcast, we show them you guys commenting live, and how that kind of looks after we get off the show. And we kind of educate them on the things that INLEO provides and what we're about. And they're really surprised that a platform like INLEO exists and they've never heard about it. So I think a critical strategy for us going forward, from now till the end of the year, especially, is every Chain Chatter is going to be a different meme community project. We're going to have them on, build that relationship, and then Eric and I have kind of framed up a really nice offer for them to essentially have the INLEO treasury buy a pretty large position in their meme coin, and then in exchange, we put it in the treasury, and we're not going to sell it, obviously. And then we say that we want them to bring their community to INLEO. So we want them to start, posting their official blog posts on INLEO. We want them to start, cross-posting their X stuff onto INLEO threads. We say that we want them to use their referral code to onboard their other community members to be active on INLEO. And then we'll also give them, a Leo Power delegation so they can spread Leo to their community. We can educate them about Leo decks and how their rewards can be, moved around to other chains, etc. So I think there's a lot that we can do, and you're going to see that strategy continue to evolve and be used as we kind of move forward. Um, so so yeah, I think we've got three communities that have already fully agreed, and we're working with right now. They've already signed up to INLEO with their main accounts and their personal accounts, and then now the next step is obviously the treasury stuff, and then also teaching them about referral codes and how to use them, and how to onboard their community members, and then how to do things like voting. So I've actually been spending a lot of time lately over DMs explaining simple things like how the voting system works, referral codes and things like that, to these communities. So it's been interesting to get a fresh set of eyes on the platform also, as I talk to these different community leaders. I see a couple people saying in the Threadcast that the sound is cutting out when I talk. I don't know if that's still happening or not, but if you guys can comment and let me know if it's better now.
It's a little bit happening to me. Well, I'm getting that from you, um, but it sounds weird. Like you were getting notifications and the ping was muting your audio or something like that.
Hmm. Notifications are off. Well, I'll go on Do Not Disturb on my phone, and maybe that will fix that.
Yeah, what you said about communities within communities within communities, I mean, it's normal. When, like, as gregarious beings, we are always in constant search of being part of communities and being part of something bigger. So if these memes are already nurturing that, like, of course, as in Leo, we have the like as the in Leo team, we have in our daily goals to nurture the lion community. But at the same time, if there are other existing communities that are already nurturing their own section or their own aspect, and we can just onboard them all together to in Leo, then of course, yes, we have to nurture them as well. But it's like a joint effort where we are not. I mean, if you think about it as team, when where we are not like the whole responsibility or task of building community not only falls into us, but we just share that goal or that mindset with other people. So it just works. It creates synergies from every single aspect that you think about.
Yeah, it's, we need to get back to focusing on, community and ownership mindset. I think that's the key. And again, I think these meme communities offer, a very fresh perspective on how to cultivate that ownership mindset and really focus on growth as a community, as opposed to, not everything needs to be I do this and I get this. If you have too much of that culture, I think it's a problem, and I do see that problem on Hive, and I think it's been there since the beginning. And obviously, a big reason for that is just the nature of how the rewards pool system works. So it's definitely something that's hard to get around, but I think there's enough of us here, especially you guys in the audience, who care, not just about getting some liquid rewards, but also about growing the platform, getting more users, getting more engagement, obviously getting more attention for, the monetization systems on INLEO, like ads and premium, um, and Leo decks, and creator subs. So it's, it benefits all of us to just grow the number of users and grow the actual user base of INLEO. Another one is like if you're a creator with a creator subscription on INLEO, I mean, you should want 100,000 monthly active users, because now, that's, essentially 50 times more potential people that can potentially subscribe to you and start paying you the creator sub every month if your value proposition is good. So, it creates a bigger target market for you as a creator on INLEO. So really there's just so many different incentives for all of us to already be onboarding. It doesn't need to be liquid rewards all the time. So I think that I think that and I've been wanting to do this for a while, but I was worried that we wouldn't be able to, cultivate the same level of interactions. But I think we're going to start cutting back on like the liquid rewards that are paid out for doing things. Like, I just don't think we need to have all these mini rewards all the time. Um, I think for bigger events, like I said, you can have bigger, like instead of having all these mini rewards, I think we should just like cut back on all of that and have, less frequent but bigger rewards for bigger ticket actions, or like potentially like a quarterly leaderboard of some kind, and then obviously leveraging the leaderboard we already have, um, rather than all these constant mini, like, earn a few HBD here, earn some Leo here. I think it's just kind of like you look around to these meme communities and you see that people are just doing it because they know that growing the community is beneficial to them, both from a social perspective because they're getting more people to interact with, and that makes it more fun. And then from a financial perspective, because they already own the token. Like, there's no, what other incentive do you need than the fact that you're already an owner in the token, and if more people come in, it's going to be more valuable. I just don't see that you need all these liquid rewards all the time. And I think we've gotten kind of trapped in a sense, in terms of these liquid rewards. And I think it's very distracting, to be completely honest with you. I think, with 1,800 monthly active users, there's no reason why, the INLEO account tweets shouldn't be getting, or posts shouldn't be getting, 10 times more traction than they are right now. There's no reason why we shouldn't be seeing more comments out there, educating people about INLEO. you know, when they post something kind of semi-related or adjacently related on X or on LinkedIn or really anywhere. There's so many things that we can be doing if we kind of get away from this, like it has, and then it also, I think the rewards thing, and a big reason I want to get away from it, you know, in terms of like those little incentives, is that I think a lot of times you guys as the community wait for us as a team to say, okay, go do this, and then you'll get this. So that creates an environment where we're limited and bottlenecked in terms of what we can do as a community, because you guys are just waiting for us as a team to launch an initiative in order for you to participate. Whereas, you know, these meme communities, the participation is constant. There's like the initiatives are not the key. It's that on a daily basis, they log in and their directive as a community is to grow the community. And they don't need direction from the team in order to do that. They just know the right things to do. They're out there commenting, like all the things I've mentioned a few times now. They're doing all those positive actions without directive from the team, just because they know that they're the right actions, you know, and they're growing the community through doing those things. So I think that the little mini initiatives have kind of trapped us, and I think that we're going to be focused more on giving you guys the template of the positive things to do, and then it's up to the community, you know, as Leo token holders to do those things. And if you don't want to do those things and you don't see the value in them, then, you know, reconsider why you hold Leo in the first place and maybe don't hold it anymore. Would be my message to people. I think you know, it's really important for us to get back to the roots of what it means to be a community, and get away from this incentives trap.
Yeah, and you know, this is something that I don't think it applies to INLEO, but there's this analogy where when you have early holders, and we have to agree that we are still early. I mean, we are under 10, like if we are under 10 million market cap, people will see this as early, and if any whales in the space see the potential, they will definitely consider us being early. So in other kind of communities, when you buy very early and you don't get actively involved in growing it, you're actually dead weight, and you're actually just a free you're just there for a free ride. If you want to have a token at a market cap like the Leo token has, you have to actually help grow it, and you have to actually take ownership and responsibility of being, because if you have, let's say that you right now buying $10,000 worth of Leo gets you 1%, it makes you a whale. And if you invest that and do not work for the bags and do not do your part in making INLEO more spread around the space, then you are actually taking away someone else the chance to get that same 1% for the same price, who will actually do good for the platform by promoting it. And this is something more importantly for the whales. Like, for example, we have Addicted, we have One Alpha, we have Taskmaster. If these kind of whales that have more than 1% are not actively promoting and helping us grow the platform, then they are actually like they are growing it. But if they weren't, they would actually be a negative um, a negative factor for INLEO, because they have supply, but they are not doing anything to grow it. Well, to grow the platform. So, and that applies the same for any kind of person who has Leo right now and wants to hold Leo. If you are going to hold, then you have to help us grow the platform, the adoption, the monthly active users, the token, everything. Otherwise, you are considered dead weight.
Yeah, it's like you know, the common saying is rent seekers. They're people that you know, are basically just kind of freeloading, sitting around waiting for other people to pump their bags, or whatever term you want to apply to it.
Yeah,
You know, and I think that approach, um, you know, it can work sometimes, you know, obviously if the right things are in place, but it's more of a buy and hope strategy, um, rather than a, you know, buy and be active and be a part of the change strategy.
exactly.
So yeah, I'd just like to see more people involved. And I actually messaged Eric the other day about setting up a Leo Whales, you know, Discord room, because I think that, the largest stakeholders of Leo can really lead the charge on this. And if other people see that, those whales are getting deeply involved in the right places, then they'll follow suit as well. And even on the chain chatter yesterday, and that's when I sent it to Eric. They mentioned that they've got that whales chat room, and that's where they organize a lot of things, and then the whales go out and they organize the smaller stakeholders to then do those actions. So leveraging the people that we have now, I think is a key to growth, and it's something that we've been not using enough of.
Yeah.
Godfrey said whales often let others do the hard work. I disagree. It's and like I said, there's always going to be people like that, but look at like a Michael Saylor, like a total Bitcoin whale that has become the #1 evangelist for onboarding people to Bitcoin. And he's not the only one. There's so many other examples of that, but he's obviously just the biggest one, the biggest example. And the biggest example in the biggest project in crypto. So, that's the entire way that Bitcoin was built, was that people started buying Bitcoin, people started mining Bitcoin, and then those people that held Bitcoin started talking about it with their friends, friends and family, and then they started talking about it online, and it spread, through organic word of mouth. There were no organized marketing campaigns or team-based initiatives to grow Bitcoin. It was really just that the grassroots of people holding Bitcoin wanted other people to hold Bitcoin. And it's very much, we definitely live in a culture of, if you're into something, whether it's crypto or whether it's, skateboarding or, name any other thing that you're into, you also want other people to be into it. You have an entrenched incentive, whether it's financial or not, to have other people get involved, because it makes your involvement better if other people are involved, especially people and like, and people who are like-minded. So what I'm talking about is really just like kind of walking away a little bit from this, like everything needs to be incentivized model, which is where we've gotten to, and instead going towards a model where we already have incentivization for engagement through upvotes, creator subs, and all these other things, and instead, like, outside of that, just focus on building the value of the Leo token by being active and getting more community members. And in the past, we've done that by, offering 10 HBD or a free month of premium or 5 HBD or, 100 Leo, for doing all sorts of little actions. And I just want to get away from that like mini initiative mindset. And I want to say that on a daily basis, you go out and you're on your own initiative as a stakeholder. And you don't need direction from the team in order to do things. You just do things because you know that it's going to grow your bag on INLEO from a social perspective and from a financial perspective. So you're going to see my focus shift very intensely away from these team-based incentives, and toward, you already have Leo, you already have enough incentive. So get active or kind of get out of the way and let other people be active. I think that that's a much better message than, the constant need for like these tiny little rewards for doing tiny little actions that the team orients you to do.
Yeah, and just to be clear, in case the message is being misunderstood, this is nobody's fault. This is just how we all got onboarded to Hive, and the way that rewards work on Hive made like kind of work in the favor of incentive, like having incentives everywhere, because that's how the reward pool works. But if you translate this to what works in the space and what makes people go and spread something, a project, a token, an initiative, we kind of have to get away from this kind of mindset, because it's actually stopping us as a community from going out there. And there's a group for the developers. It's not a private group. Anyone can go in, where the developers and the witnesses and the project leads join and speak. about Hive, and there have been many conversations about what we can do to make Hive go viral, and we have been very vocal about how we need to change the way incentives work and make either incentives work in the way that you don't get incentives if you don't go spread the word about Hive, or many other options. But the main message here is that this is nobody's fault. We just need as Lions to change this mindset together, because Cal and I have been on Hive for 6-7 years. So we also fell into this kind of mindset, because that's exactly how the ecosystem is presented. So the message is simple. Let's all change this mindset, and let's all change the way we're doing things to spread the word about INLEO. And let's stop just thinking about, oh, what kind of rewards do I get if I join this initiative, or what kind of reward do I get if I spread this message, or if I retweet this. Well, the incentive is that you are a holder of the token, you are part of the community, and you want that token and that community to grow. Because whatever you have, the 10,000 Leo you have, right now it's worth, let's say, $300. Well, if we go and do a 10x, that's going to be $3,000. Well, that's your reward. Those $2,700 is your reward for doing everything in your power to help us grow the monthly active users, the token price, everything around INLEO. So yeah, it's just basically let's just change the mindset together.
Yeah. I definitely agree. It's going to take a lot of hard work to change that mindset, like you said. But it's definitely doable. And the longer that we've been on this platform and blockchain, the more that we've been taught to think these ways. And it's, like I said, nobody's fault. It's just kind of the nature of incentives. And if you provide them, too much in certain ways, then they start to get expected. And there's been plenty of psychological studies that you can go read to see the effects of giving people incentives and then taking them away. But it's like I said, the biggest incentive, far more than any liquid reward that you could ever be paid, is for stakeholders. You have a bag, grow that bag by growing the platform. And you see that on these meme communities, and it's something that I've been watching very closely the last couple of weeks and paying a lot of attention to, and honestly sourcing inspiration from, because these communities, like I said, are a tenth of the size of us with a tenth of the market cap, but have 10 times more activity than us, and are 10 times more, engaging and 10 times more active in sharing, and being positive and getting new people onboarded to their, Discord servers and other places. So, you actually go to their Discord servers or their Telegrams, and you see just constant chats 24/7. And it's like, how do they have so much more activity than us, with such a small percentage of our user base, from a ratio perspective. So I think it's just something where we really need to change the culture. And you'll see me obviously eating my own dog food and doing these things and being active on X. And I've started doing some interesting things with sharing, threadcasts while we do the spaces, and using my referral link. And a couple people have already noticed that my referral points are dominating the leaderboard. So I think I'm like number 1 or number 2. I know on Mod Mongo was battling with me for the number 1 spot for the monthly leaderboard, but I've been very active in terms of referring and onboarding. Self-help patrol said, and I pulled up a couple things from the threadcast, so we can run through them to catch up. But self-help patrol said the incentives are good for people who are dipping their toes and aren't sure yet. We don't need them all the time. I have my own initiatives. Yeah, and I've seen that self-help patrols is extremely active, in terms of like Substack and trying to get creators onboarded. So, obviously you're a really good example of someone who's just kind of taking initiative on your own and doing things to grow the platform and grow your own, creator subscription base. So yeah, definitely like seeing that. And we just need more of it. Scaredy Cat Guide, Mitch said, agreed, community initiative. Cat did a lot of heavy lifting in the first few years of Leo. Life has led to having to lighten the load. I'm sure I'll pump back up at some point in the future. Yeah, and Mitch was a great example of someone, and still is, of someone who's very active, not for a specific incentive, but because he, owns a token and has an ownership mindset. So obviously Mitch still does the weekly AMAs and commits to doing those and spending, an hour to 2 hours a week, on a live podcast to help grow Leo. And has done it, really since the beginning, and then all the other things he's done over the years. So really just having more people like that, I think is really key. And Ben said, don't ask the community what the community can do for you. Ask what you can do for the community. Yeah, the famous Nifty line. Yeah, I love that line from Nifty as well. Vic Van said users should understand there's no INLEO without engagement, and withstanding how little of a push of engagement is, it can help a lot. Yeah, I mean, engagement is everything on INLEO, and even even 100 new users coming in and being engaged on the platform will be a very noticeable increase in overall engagement. And you would notice. I mean, if there's 100 new people, you would notice. You would see a lot of new faces, and I know a lot of you guys have already mentioned that you do notice, because we have been onboarding people. So you do notice new faces and people getting active. Mod Manga said, I'm trying to find ways to onboard better. Not sure if what I'm doing is working though. Yeah, well, onboarding is, it's a constantly evolving game. It's also very hard. So first of all, it's really hard to just find something that works. And then when you find something that works, you're going to have to evolve that approach over time. Things are always changing in the world, and the narratives are always changing, and the ways to get people interested are always changing. So onboarding is not okay, I figured this out and now we're good perspective. It's a daily grind, daily battle. And you have to work hard to be successful at it. So, I know we've been talking about taking away like the mini incentives, but the big incentive of referral rewards is not going away. That $50 per referral is not going anywhere. And I still think that referral system is a really good one. It's much different than what I'm explaining here, which is like the daily incentive to just be doing those positive things. That's one of those bigger incentives that I think should be left in place, and will be left in place, in order to incentivize people to onboard their friends and get them active. Referral systems have been very successful, really throughout history, but especially on the internet. I studied a lot on what happened with PayPal, and how they grew it. And then you look at other platforms and how they grew, and referral systems are a huge pathway to growth. Self-help patrols shared an example of Zach onboarding or teaching someone about INLEO on X, by explaining how they're earning through blog posts and threads. So yeah, she said she'll come check it out. 82,000 followers on X. Yeah, it's and it's like I said, like it's kind of crazy because it's like a suddenly and then all at once type of thing. Like you never know when you're talking to just the right person who could then be the pathway to another 1,000 users. It could just be one interaction that leads to that. So you can never discount an interaction and what the potential onboarding flow could be from that. D-Kid said, for someone like me, I'm wondering what's the best way to support those that are best at welcoming new communities and supporting them. Just delegating some Leo to those leading the leaderboards. Yeah, I mean, I think, delegating Leo to the right people, I would say like one of the biggest things you could do is look for people who are very active curating on threads, and then delegate Leo to them if that's something that you're looking to do. We definitely need more curation on threads in general. So, I've delegated to several people who are active in just curating threads and focusing on that. And then, 80 to 90% or more of my upvotes are actually threads only. Just because I think a lot of Leo flows to those blog posts, just because that's the existing, kind of the existing auto voter culture. But I've been really focused on voting threads, and that's something that I do, continuously. So if your approach is less manual and you want to be more kind of supporting the people that are manual, I would say look for the ones curating threads on a regular basis, and then consider delegating to them. Maybe try to reach out to them and see. But I like that approach, and that's a good example of, D-Kid is a good example of someone who wants to grow, like you own Leo, obviously, if you're looking to delegate it out, you're not going to get paid anything for delegating it out. But you have the understanding that if you delegate it out and someone else uses it in the right way to encourage people to be more active on the platform and grow the platform, then your bag, the Leo that you hold, is actually going to increase in value just by you delegating it to that other user. So a good example of understanding that you don't necessarily need to get liquid tokens paid to you in order to have a financial gain. Obviously, if a financial gain is high on your list of priorities. So, again, I think that's a good mindset. Ahmad Manga asked a question about how many communities featured on Chain Chatter have started onboarding their people here yet. Yeah, I mentioned that there's 3 that have committed to onboarding. So we're just teaching them how to use INLEO and all the different features. And like I said, how to use their referral codes, etc. So you'll definitely start to see them get active. I've been reposting or rethreading some of the stuff that they've put up so far. But yeah, they're just getting familiar with the platform, and then they're going to start sharing it with their community, and getting their community members onboarded. But there's 3 of them from Chain Chatter, and then I'm talking to the ones from yesterday's Chain Chatter as well. So we'll see what we can do there. Maybe get a 4th one, and then like I said, every week from now till the end of the year at least, and probably continuing beyond that, we're going to keep meeting with more meme communities and crypto communities and doing the same kind of templated approach with each one. It's been working extremely well so far. They're very receptive to it, and it gives them a real reason to take a hard look at us. And then once they do look at us, they realize that there's something big here that they can grow with us and build their community with. Sammy on Hive invited some people to join by tagging them. It's a really underutilized strategy to get more people into Threadcasts, is you can actually tag them in a thread reply. So yeah, good job there.
Yeah, what self-help for trolls says about how making delegations for people not through contests, but just as a way of recognizing the hard work and the contributions. It's actually pretty good, and I'm not sure how it would work if Hive in general, or only Leo in particular, if we steered away from any incentivized competitions, contests, etc. Because like we saw with Zilly, they work, but they work until like up to a point, and then, like you said, if you stop giving incentives and all of that, it just like kind of you kind of get lost, and people expect things like that all the time. I don't know. So I wonder how it would work if we, as we try to change this mindset in Lions, to steer away from the from the old Hive mindset, and we do as well at the same time, like steer away from any kind of competitions, and like we could see how it works out for us.
Yeah, I think just focusing on the value of Leo and and focusing on growing the project and the ecosystem. I think that's what really matters. Not all these little tiny incentives for doing XYZ tasks. It's just like a task rabbit loophole or rabbit hole that we can get stuck in.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Bitcoin just hit 76K while we were chatting.
Yeah, I saw that. I think it went all the way to 76.5 for a minute there. So yeah, Bitcoin's been reaching new all-time highs on pretty much a daily basis since the election. So definitely kind of interesting to see that happening. And I think it's just pro crypto in general. The altcoin market hasn't really taken off yet, but another key point for growth that we've talked about, which is just token price going up, definitely gets more people interested. So I think Leo will have a proxy benefit from all of that. Definitely not something I like to rely on and wait for. As you guys know, I mean, the majority of our building has happened in the bear market. So, you know, the focus is building no matter what. But bull market definitely helps with eyeballs and attention. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've started to get texts again from normies asking about crypto. So that's how you kind of know that things are starting to heat up, is when the normies start coming back and asking questions.
True. Very true. Trying to
Well, we've
see
been
if
going for about an hour, so I've got a few last things I pulled up from the Threadcast, but we can just kind of wrap up.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. Just to add to what Self-Help Patrol said, I think rather than contests, it's best to just create an image that Leo is generous to those who build and do good on the platform. And you know that what this is something that we have done for a while, but we don't really advertise it because there's no point to it. But there are many people from the community that that are actually already getting some delegations. It's small, but uh, if we notice that they are contributing, being engaging, being active, like we have actually had these conversations like, hey Carl, I've seen this guy doing a lot, maybe we want to throw, I don't know, 10,000 Leo delegation to his way for a few months, etc. Because we do value all of that. It's just not something that we have tried to promote. But yeah, I mean, we can definitely think about ways on how we can leverage this and to start pivoting from all of these contests, incentivized contests and competitions uh, in the near future. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Self-Help Patrol said, as someone with 120K Leo, I can attest to that. I buy Leo because I believe in it, and I want Leo to grow because I own it, and I own it because I believe in it, and I want it to help it grow because I own it, and I own it because I believe in it. Yeah, it's a that's the ownership mindset that, again, Task has talked about a lot in his videos and content. Um, if you have that ownership mindset, then you are really focused on how to grow the thing that you own. And you don't need to be directed by a team or central party in order to do those correct actions. Because I mean, I think all of us know what to do. It's not like it's rocket science. Your directive is to onboard people to talk about Leo in public, to whether it's online or in person, to get them signed up. And now you've got the referral system, which will actually incentivize you. But again, like, you don't need direction from the team. You don't need us to tell you every little thing to do and micromanage your ability to get new people onboarded. That's something that you can just do because you can. And you have the incentives because you own the token. And that's really all it should take. Idio said, there are so many new faces, glad to have them in the den. Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of new faces, and it's brought a lot of vibrancy and engagement to the platform. So we're gonna make sure that continues, obviously, and ramps up. Ahmad Manga said he also notices a lot of new faces, and I like that. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of new faces, and with the meme communities coming, I think it's going to be a very large kind of floodgates of new faces, and then obviously with the Dash integration on the way as well. This is going to be a big month for us, I think, in terms of new users and new faces. So really important that we welcome them and educate them and explain to them how everything works and why they should remain active. And retaining them is really going to be up to the community in terms of being engaged and curating and delegating and just being a welcoming community. We can bring these people in, but you guys have to have the open arms to kind of welcome them and educate them and handhold them and mentor them. That's up to our existing community. That's you guys, in order to make the retention successful. I actually think retention is a huge community-based thing, not a team-based thing. So that's going to be a really important thing for you guys to get active with. I actually named the title of this space is Make Docs Great Again. So I've been really focused on the docs, and just really adding to them and making sure that they're up to date and ready for all these new users. And I'm trying to make them even simpler to use with more how-to guides as well. So when these new users are coming in, you guys have like preset links and you can say, oh, go here in the docs or go here in the docs. And if you're curious about how the rewards pool works, click this link to the INLEO docs and it'll explain how the rewards pool works. So things like that, I've been pretty focused on as well, which is why I obviously picked that title. Yeah, I think that catches me up in terms of questions that I pulled while we were live. This has been fun, and you guys have been really active throughout. So I definitely appreciate that.
Yes. So if the if the message was not clear, guys, we need you to go to the link that I'm about to drop in the threadcast, and please join us. It takes 5 minutes out of your day, and you are definitely going to make a difference in how we increase our reach in on X, formerly Twitter. But yeah, just join us, guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the link to the Telegram. Yeah, jump in the Telegram and Eric spent the time to set up a raid bot. So jump in the Telegram and then you'll get added. And then you can connect your X account. And then essentially when a tweet or a post, I don't think we'll ever fully get over the tweet post thing. But when a post goes live from the INLEO X account, a raid will automatically get started. And then in the Telegram, you'll actually get like a push notification. And you can just click on that. And then it has like the emoji reactions. And you can like and repost and even comment directly from Telegram. You don't even have to leave Telegram to do it. So the raids happen on a daily basis, multiple times a day even, and it literally takes like I've obviously been playing around with it as well. It takes like 20 seconds to like you can literally like, repost, and comment in like 20 seconds using the raid bot. And doing that means that you're liking, reposting, and commenting on the latest INLEO post on X, which obviously helps the reach immensely, especially if a lot of people do it very quickly. So that's part of the X algorithm is like how quickly can you get a lot of engagement. And then I'll be, obviously active on the INLEO X account in replying back to you and stuff like that. So then, after the initial raid, if you want to get more active, you'll see like a reply from INLEO, on X and whatnot, and you can kind of go back and forth and it'll boost it even more. But yeah, follow that link that Eric just posted in the threadcast, and get added to the Telegram, so that we can continue to grow the overall audience and engagement on Web2. That's going to be a key to growing our platform. So again, a small thing that you can do. There's no incentive from a liquid token perspective. The incentive is that you already own Leo, and by doing all these things, you will be your bag will grow just based on you being active and you being the change that you want to see. So be active is really the key. David said, I tried to join the Telegram group, but got an error. I'm not sure what that is, but Eric could probably help you out.
You got an error saying what? That's weird.
Yeah, maybe if you post like a screenshot and then tag at a nomad soul on INLEO, he could probably help you. But I just clicked the link and followed it, and I didn't get any errors.
Yeah, I think it seems like it works perfectly. Oh, you have to have Telegram, the Telegram app, otherwise it might throw you an error. I mean, I don't think it. Okay, Tensika, how the hell were you not in the Telegram group? Okay, well, that's good. We have 2 more people. Well, yeah, we just need 20, 30 people, and then we can make it work and we can cook. And activity will bring activity, and in no time, if we are 1,800 people on the platform, we could easily be 180 on Telegram, and any kind of tweet that Colin, Leo, or myself send out, and anyone that you send out, we can just rate it and it can get 25 likes in 1 minute. And then the algorithm picks it up as if it's a very good tweet, an interesting tweet, and then they will spread it around and we can get thousands of views every single day if we do it like this. So yeah, just help, guys. Join the
Yeah.
Telegram.
Join the Telegram and help out. It's one of the small ways that you can make a big impact.
Exactly.
Sweet. And Eric, do people have to be manually added, or do they just get, if they join, do they just join?
We were getting a lot of bots, so I made it so that I have to accept people. I
Is
can
it
remove that,
is it
or
possible to remove that and then just make it so that nobody can comment? Like, how are these other, because I would assume other communities, like especially these meme communities, are having the same problem, like
yeah,
with bots.
yeah,
So what is their solution?
I could set up a portal and then people have to do a captcha and then uh, but I think it having the captcha and having the portal, it actually attracts bots. So right now we're not getting bots at all because I'll
But
think
they
about
can't,
it.
but nobody can comment anyways, right?
No, right. I mean, right now it is a chat group. We have an announcement, um, an announcements one that actually doesn't let people write. So we could use
Well,
that one, or we could
maybe we
just
just need to
turn.
open it up and then just have, a couple moderators from the community active and just banning bots when they see them.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I feel like we're running the Telegram group, not how other like meme communities and other communities in general are running their Telegrams.
No, I mean
Um,
I can set up a portal and then I can set up rows. So there's some auto moderation for spammy links or for people just coming in and spamming. Like, yes, I
yeah,
can
like we
definitely
should
set it
have
up like
like,
that.
yeah, if you can set it up like that, I think that'd be better than like the invite system. Because I see a lot of like pending invites, and then also maybe there's rules that you can set with Rose or whatever moderation bot that like nobody's allowed to post links except for us.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
certain rules like that. Like we definitely shouldn't allow any links. I think that's like a number one rule. And then maybe you can have certain preset terms that if someone mentions them, then the comment is automatically deleted. And maybe they're either banned or kicked from the channel, which would be like airdrop or like, whatever, like those certain keywords that a lot of bots use. Maybe you can just auto ban stuff like that. And then on top of that, we can elect like maybe 10 different people from our community, like you, me, Sunseeker, maybe Ahmad Manga if he joins in the Telegram, a few other people uh, who are trusted lions. And then if they see something random times of the day, they can just immediately ban it as well. So they can kind of be another manual lever. But yeah, I think we should make it definitely more open and I think we also need to look at what these other communities are doing and see what we should copy in terms of running our Telegram. Because I know the Hive ecosystem has never been active on Telegram, but um, it's a place where a lot of crypto people have continued to gather, and I don't think it's going away. So I think we should get on top of making ours even better.
yeah. Okay. Wait, am I rugging?
Yeah, I can hear
Okay. Yeah. I lost you
you.
for a
Yeah,
second.
no, you're good. Yeah, let's do that and then get more people in the Telegram and active in the raids. Um, but yeah, I think we're all caught up on everything. So any closing thoughts before we jump off?
No, well, the closing thought was basically the join Telegram and leaving the link there, etc. Because I think that it's going to change a lot of on how we not how we operate, but you know what I mean. It's going to change a lot on the what's the word, on the engagement that we're getting on X.
Yeah, cut out a little bit at the end there, but I think I got the
I
idea
think
of
I
what
lost
you
you.
were saying. Um, Sweet. Yeah, that'll be my closing thought as well is, all the things we talked about, the TLDR is, be active. You know what to do. You already own Leo. It's not as much about the liquid incentives that you might get. It's about growing the community for the sake of growing the community because you're a stakeholder, an owner, and a community member. So get out there and get active. And then that's the way we'll actually go. And then also as new people come into the INLEO platform, be active on threads and be ready to welcome them with open arms. So join the Telegram. We'll keep dropping the link in different places because we're trying to grow that right now. And thanks for coming. And we'll catch you tomorrow for the Lions Den, 1 p.m. Eastern. See ya.